What's up, Lexi Mob? It's Alexiana. Welcome back to my channel. Now, originally this wasn't the original video that I had planned to post or whatnot, but I was scrolling on Instagram today and I saw this video and I said I had to make a video about this because this really shook me to my core. How somebody could be so cruel to a student. Now, I remember this relates back to a video that has since then been private on my channel for reasons that I'm not going to disclose. It relates back to what I said in that video. Anytime you have a job that involves people, please make sure your patience is in check. And if not, then you might want to find you something else to do because people are not easy to deal with. And this right here, the situation that I'm about to get into, oh hell yeah, like that's a prime example of it. So let's get into it. National Black Guide on Instagram. I'm going to insert the Instagram handle over here. The caption reads, I don't know if I'm saying this right, but the caption reads, deranged middle school teacher resigns after video shows him throwing student across classroom. Shocker. It says, on December 6, 2024, an incident involving a teacher and student at deranged middle school was reported to district personnel. Following the report, thorough statements were collected, and the teacher was immediately reassigned to an alternate location to ensure they had no interaction with students. Over the weekend, the teacher submitted their resignation, which was received and accepted by SCCPSS Human Resources. Please be assured that this was an isolated incident and we take matters like this extremely seriously. The safety and well-being of our student population are of the utmost importance to us, and we are committed to maintaining a safe and supportive environment for all. Savannah Chatham County Public School System. Now we're going to play the video.
Friday. That afternoon, she got a call about what happened between her 6th grade son, TJ, and the football coach who was in charge of the classroom that day. That teacher was identified as Betrayal Elder.
I was told that he had a share of words that were inappropriate to TJ, and that he had, made some remarks about me, and my son was unhappy with it. So my son then went to the front of the classroom to approach the teacher, letting him know, hey, stop talking about my mom. The teacher then came closer to my son. My son again said, stop talking about my mom, and also wanted to, call someone to call my mom. From that point, he was then grabbed and thrown to the floor.
The comments, according to this student, were sexual in nature. Russell says she's never met this teacher before and is appalled a teacher would say anything like this to her son.
I just feel like they failed me. They let me down. It is heartbreaking. It causes a lack of trust in the school system.
As that video continues, that teacher can be seen standing over and straddling the student after throwing him down.
He then grabbed Travius and shoved him out of the classroom. It was witnessed by the assistant principal that he was thrown out of the classroom. Yes. Aggressively, again.
They went to the ER that night. TJ now has a concussion and multiple bruises. He's frightened to go back to school. School told Russell that the teacher has been, quote, removed and placed elsewhere until the investigation is complete.
I really feel like he don't need to be placed anywhere else. He needs to be placed in jail. He hurt my boy. I wouldn't do that to my child. His father wouldn't do that to him. So for him to take initiative to do that is sickening. What are you going through at home? Are you beating on your children? Are you beating on your wife?
Russell says she doesn't want this to change the way her son thinks of teachers or school as a whole, but is worried about the emotional toll this will have long term. She says the school district needs to have more thorough training and a better vetting process.
I hate that he had to be made an example out of to get a sick individual out of a schoolhouse, but something needs to change.
Disturbing video that Duran Middle School mother...
Oh, it's pronounced Duran. Whatever. But anyways, now it's time for a little commentary. Y'all just saw that video and y'all heard what the lady had said. It's just like what I had said in the beginning of this video. It relates back to a now private video that I had posted a long while back and stuff like that. Like I said in that video, anytime you have a profession, anytime you want to get in a career that involves people, no matter if you're a teacher, doctor, lawyer, whatever the case may be, make sure that your patience is in check. Make sure that you have the patience to do that job. Because if not, you might want to find something else to do. Because like I had said, people are cruel. People are cruel. They're not easy to deal with. And if your patience is not in check, then you lose your cool and situations like this happens. And it's just like what the lady had said, like basically according to her son, like, you know, the teacher and the son had got into it and stuff like that, and he was saying some disrespectful stuff about her to her son and stuff like that, and pretty much the son got mad and stuff, you know, wanted to defend his mother. Was like, hey, stop talking about my mother, stop talking about my mother. And he got all up in the teacher's face and stuff like that, bucked up at him, and the teacher just grabbed him and threw his ass to the ground and stuff like that. And it's just like this. On one hand, I hate to point the finger at the mother, but it's just like this. Like, honey, if you're watching this video, understand, I mean no harm about what I'm about to say. This is just my opinion. You can take it with what you will. It's like this. First off, how can I say this? First off, learning starts at home. Learning first starts at home and stuff like that. If you do not teach your child right from wrong while they're little, while they're at home, they're going to go out in the world and do stuff like this. And there are other adult figures that are going to teach them right from wrong for you. If you don't teach them right from wrong at home at an early age. Like, you do not teach them right from wrong at an early age and stuff while they're at home. When they go out in the real world or go in the school system, there are other people and other adult figures and stuff like that that are going to teach them right from wrong for you. And 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be pretty. Exhibit A, this situation. I feel like the child, even though, you know, the teacher was saying some disrespectful stuff about his mother and stuff like that, I still feel like the child could have handled it better. I feel like he could have walked out of the class and went to the guidance counselor or the principal or something like that and reported the incident, as opposed to, you know, taking matters into his own hands and meeting his fate. Like, I feel like the child could have handled the situation better. And I feel like, you know, as a mother, I feel like, you know, not questioning her parenting skills whatsoever, but I feel like, you know, as a mother, like, you should teach your son right from wrong at home first at an early age, because situations like this are going to arise and stuff like that to where they're not going to know how to handle the situation properly, and there are other figures out there that are going to teach them right from wrong for you. And unfortunately, this is one of those situations. So yeah, learning first starts at home. And also, I feel like with the teacher, he also could have handled the situation better. Regardless to what that little boy was saying to you, sir, you're the adult figure. You have to set a good example. You should have, I don't know if they had like one of those intercom buttons in school. You could have pushed the intercom button and stuff like that and told them like, hey, I got an unruly student here in the class. Like, can you guys please come and help me? And like get an administrator and stuff to come down to that classroom and stuff like that. And, you know, get that child removed out of the class. Like, as the adult figure and stuff like that, in that situation, you could handle it better. As opposed to, you know, taking matters into your own hands and putting your hands on another woman's child. Like, you don't do that. So, in a way, both of them could have handled the situation better. Like, the little boy could handle the situation better, vice versa. The teacher could have handled it better. So, it's a two-way street in my opinion. And it's just like what I had said, like, anytime you have a job that involves people, again, no matter if it's a teacher, doctor, lawyer, whatever, please make sure your patience is in check. Please make sure your patience is in check and you know the right way to handle situations like that. That way to avoid you from losing your job. And if your patience are not in check, or if you feel like you don't know how to deal with certain situations like that, then, honey, you might want to find something else to do. Because dealing with people is not easy. Trust me. You looking at a bitch right now that was a CNA before. order. And trust and believe, dealing with people is not easy. I dealt with residents that were racist. I dealt with residents that didn't want me to care for them. I dealt with residents and stuff like that complained about my work. But lucky at a young age, I was like 19 or 20 years old back then and stuff like that. And lucky for me, I knew the proper way to deal with those situations because, I needed the job. And at the time, it was something that I thought I loved doing and stuff like that. And yeah, I just knew the right things to do and stuff like that to get those situations handled. Because at the time, I thought it was something that I loved to do. So, yeah. Make sure that your patience is in order and you pretty much know the right way to handle certain situations like that. And if your patience is not in order or you feel like you don't know the right things to do and stuff like that to handle those situations, then you might want to exit stage left and find something else to do. Because like I said, dealing with people is not easy. It's not. It don't matter if you have a regular 9-to-5 job. Dealing with people is not easy. And it's just like what I said. I feel like both individuals could have handled the situation better. The little boy could have handled it better, as he could have walked out the class and probably went to the principal's office to get that teacher fired or get him removed from the classroom and stuff like that for talking bad about his mom. And also with a teacher, I feel like as the adult figure, you're supposed to set a good example. You should have, if you seen that student pretty much wasn't backing down and talking smack back to you, you should have pushed the intercom button and stuff like that if they got one, and got an administrator to come to that classroom and stuff like that to get that student removed. You could have handled the situation better too. And just like what I said with the mother, it's learning first starts at home. Regardless, what that teacher had said to that student, him bucking up at that teacher like that, you should teach your child right from wrong at an early age at home. Otherwise, they're going to go out in the real world and and pretty much get in little situations like this. And there are individuals out there that are going to teach them right from wrong for you. And unfortunately, it would happen to be this teacher, and the unfortunate happened. And yeah. But if I mostly have to point the finger, I'm going to mostly point the finger at the teacher because, yeah, the mother, I feel like, she should teach her son, in my opinion now, in my honest opinion now. This is Alexiana's opinion. This is Lexi's opinion now. This is just my opinion now. In my honest opinion, yeah, I feel like the mother should teach her son right from wrong at home first and stuff like that to avoid him from going out in the world and pretty much doing things like this. But at the same time, I also feel like the teacher should have handled the situation better, being the adult figure in that classroom. So if I mostly have to point the finger, it should be at the teacher because you're the adult figure in this situation, sir. You have to set a good example. You should have, the minute you saw this boy wasn't backing down from you and he was talking back to you, you should have freaking you should have, pressed the intercom button if they got one and got that student removed from the classroom. You should have done something like that. You don't just pretty much physically put your hands on another woman's child. You don't do that. Now look at you. You got reassigned to another location. You got fired from your job. All because of what? Because you did not know how to handle that situation better. So all in all, in closing, I just want to say, like I said, if you're watching this video, if you want to be a doctor, lawyer, CNA, or if you just simply work a 9-to-5 job with a lot of people, make sure your patience is in order. And also make sure you know the right protocols to take to deal with certain situations. Because dealing with people is not easy. I hope that helped. And if you're a teacher, please don't go out here putting your hands on other women's children and stuff like that. Please don't do that. Like I said, please know the right protocols to deal with certain situations, please. Because, just don't go out here putting your hands on other people's children and stuff like that. And being without a job or possibly going to jail because, yeah, jail, even though I've never been to jail, like jail, I'm pretty sure it's not a fun place. So, yeah. So, yeah, that's just about it for this video. Like always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to become part of the Lexi Mob. I'm going to insert my social media handles over here as well in the description box down below. So, feel free to add and follow me on those. So, until next time, peace out. Biatch.